Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? How is everybody doing? Hey, Marcus. Terrence, how are you doing? Good to see you. Well, we've got the nightly backfill going on. Thanks, brother. Thank you. Yeah. So now today there's supposed to be some deadline. So, you know, it's funny because Iron Chef was talking in the room. He was talking about the price action and stuff, and I agree with him. The price action is this is a difficult market to trade. It's not an easy market to trade. You know, um, but the thing, folks, is you know there is a war going on, and it's affecting how large smart money players, how they make their decisions, and when that happens, and you know, like yesterday was choppy as hell. Hey, Dave. It was choppy, 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 very choppy, right? What's up, Rocky? How you doing? Um, you know, it was choppy, and we are in distribution. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is there are areas in these charts where we have trap shorts that are very, very obvious, and you could see when the market liquidated and we broke that 65.47 and we dropped underneath here. We dropped in and volume was acquired here. It's being distributed here. Now, the reason why there's not a lot of buying coming in to take us up higher is because who the hell wants to put on risk, right? Exactly, Terrence. Let me put it to you this way, right? I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine that you are managing a small amount of money, say $200 million, right? Friends, family, clients, your ex, maybe your ex Bank of America, right? Or maybe your ex Bank of New York, right? You used to be on the desk. You left, you started your own small fund. You had a couple of hundred million under management. Nothing, you know, nothing to write home about, but, a solid little fund, right? So you have clients, right? Now, when you're a retail trader, you have a responsibility to your own money. When you have clients, you have a responsibility not to be a dumbass with their money. I mean, to plainly put it that way, right? You guys still with me? Everybody still kind of understanding? Because we get a lot of people talking about this price action and stuff, and we better address it, right? So if you have, if you're managing other people's money, we call it OPM. You have, and here's a fancy word, a fiduciary responsibility not to be an idiot, right? Which means you have a responsibility to those people that you're managing their money not to do anything stupid with it, right? So all of the stuff that retail traders go through, FOMO and revenge trading and tilt and blowing up accounts, all of that doesn't really happen in the real world, right? That happens in your world when you're sitting in your basement or your kitchen and you're trading and you have no concept of how a business works, right? So that's why retail traders don't make any money. So when you are a professional, you have a responsibility not to do anything stupid. When you have a war, You have to be very careful about building positions. Say you're trying to buy 200,000 shares of a stock and some idiot launches a missile, right? And that stock just gets the holy living crap hit out of it. Well, that's going to go on your earnings and your P&L. And then when the clients see that you've been irresponsible, they're going to pull money out of your fund. Do you get that? Right? So the people who trade size, what they're doing right now, the wholesalers, and I've been telling you guys for now, oh man, I've been telling you for, what is it, April? I've been telling you now for 4 months that it's a speculative market and that we are going to be going lower. Funnily enough, we stopped at this 63.59 and bounced back up, but we are in distribution, right? If you look at this whole area here, it's kind of like a big balance zone if you were redoing a balance zone, right? So we're just kind of going back and forth, and there is a deadline, which is apparently tonight, and I don't know if he's going to, actually do what he says he's going to do this time, or if he's not. So traders are going to, right? What does smart money do? When you don't know what the hell's going on, when you have macro conditions that change every 24 hours, right? So you own certain stocks and you own them, say, for a 10 or 15 year period or a 5-year period, right? So you own those positions. You're really not going to mess with them too much, right? Your speculative stuff, you might trade back and forth during the day or on a 2-week or a 3-week swing. That might be reduced now to a 2-day swing or a 1-day swing. You get what I'm saying? You really want to manage your risk, right? Smart money manages their risk. Dumb money runs around chasing profits like a dog chasing a car, right? Or a dog basically chasing its tail, right? So the smart money, a lot of these funds will just sit and watch. Hey, Cisco, aloha. So that's what we're getting. I said yesterday that we are in distribution. That if you are, the war is going to get worse tonight. Say, for example, right? If the president actually does what he says he's going to do and follows through on it, it could be a major problem. So if you were long here, right? If you were long underneath 65.47, if you're long underneath 66.16, what are you going to be doing? Yesterday you would have been selling everything that you've got. Gently, because there was buying, right? Because we've got some short positions. We have a very clear short position here, another one here, and we have another one here. Those are the three that you can see. There are many short positions that you cannot see, like yesterday on the way up, right? So tonight, overnight inventory is short because most of the action is underneath yesterday's close. This always happens when a market goes up and traps people short at night. It will do this, and it allow the people who got short on the way up, it allows them to come in and cover, right? Terrence, I've been doing this so long now, I forget what it was like in 2022. It's only 4 years ago, but I remember 2020 distinctly. But 2022, I'll have to search back for that. So this overnight action is allowing the shorts to cover. That's why we did that look below and fail of yesterday's low. For larger traders, I would suggest, if you're going to put on a 2 or 3 week swing position, I would wait until, we see what happens tonight. I would, why go and blow a couple of $1 million when you can wait a little bit and see exactly what happens, right? Hey, Flex, what's going on? So that's sort of the larger time frame. The larger time frame is cautious. I can't say whether we're going to go up or down from here. I'm thinking because this move higher is built on short positions, that the natural tendency is to come down and fill these short positions over time. If there's really bad news tonight, we could do that tonight very easily. Until then, we're still in this sort of distribution. So how do we trade, right? How does that's great, JJ. What do we do now? What we do is we go in and we trade because we're kind of going sideways, right? If the market's going sideways, what do? Well, you go sideways too, right? You go sideways too. So overnight inventory is short. What I'm looking for when London opens, and today it is going to open in 15 minutes, I'm looking to see whether or not we can hold yesterday's low. If we break yesterday's low, the overnight low is the target. If we do this, that's 66.30-ish, 29 area. That's your first target to the upside, right? And then your second target is 66.37. That's where the stops are, okay? So that's where we are now. Inventory is short. We seem to be having bids in the 20s here. The overnight point of control. The point of control for people who are not market profile people. The point of control just says 70% of the inventory is priced at 66.21, right? And the value area is where most of the inventory is priced. They talk about value, I talk about inventory and cost basis. So the cost basis in this session is between 18 and 28 for now. The goal is to go and try and sell that higher. If buying does not come in, we will come down and we will take out that overnight low, and this low here at 66.05 from the second, right, from Thursday is going to be your big, that's where your target's going to be, right? Lower, I left the old single prints in from the overnight session, right? There is a short position here from 65.90 to 65.94 from the previous overnight session. These single prints are still valid even though we traded through them in that overnight session. You see once that session's gone, you can see that the single prints are still there. So there are areas where we're going to expect some buying. There's some single prints down here too, right, from 65 down to 3. I'll go mark that later. Hey, trade maker. So what do? Let's do the same thing that we always do, right? It looks like it's been a fairly, at least for the last 3 or 4 hours, it looks like it's been fairly calm. We know we've got sellers here. VWAP's at 29. Right, and we're just kind of going, I've got a 16 quarter to 25 balance. It's a little big, but hey, so are the ranges, right? So they stopped selling it around 16 quarter. Here's where the deep discount is. The trades I like to take are the look below and fail, or the fail to look below. These trades are a little harder to catch because they're not right at an edge, right? I like when the market looks below, comes back up. Then you know you can go long and sell into the strength, right? So we've marked where the sellers are here. Let's see what the cat drags in for order flow in the next couple of half-hour periods. A lot of this chop is created by anyone? Choppy market conditions are created by a lack of follow-through buying or selling. When you have a lack of follow-through buying or selling, you have what's going on? Business is slow. Business is slow because remember what I said? Big money traders, smart money traders, they're kind of waiting to see what's happening, right? Right? Like the old market profiles people say, oh, that's indecision. Some of them say the market is waiting for information, right? Yeah, just keep hitting singles, man. Exactly. Take a couple of $100 here, couple of $100 there, and don't give it back. That's the key to this market. What I've been saying, the whole trading for a living, not getting carried away, all of that becomes more and more and more important now because this is why I always, and it's, I know it's, a lot of people don't like what I say because, they're used to trading rooms and people going, oh yeah, you got to max out your edge and, yeah, but most of you guys don't have an edge. So how are you going to max out what you don't have, right? I mean, sure, if you're making 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 a day, then yeah, and you're consistently profitable for 3, 4, 5, 6 months at least, then sure, you should be maxing out your edge and doing things like that. But you have to, read the room, right? There is a war going on. A lot of us forget that because we're not impacted by it and we don't see the effects of it except on the news. And it's very far away, right? It'd be different if we were ducking bullets trying to get water in the morning, right? That'd be a different story. We'd be go, oh yeah, there's a war going on, right? But for most of us, we're not impacted by it, so we just think that everything should be the same. But it's not, right? And that's something that we have to really, really be aware of and trade accordingly. A lot of the times, over the next, I'd say for this session, this crap's going to be untradeable. Like, you don't want to trade this. There is no edge here. You don't know if it's going to go up or down, right? Yeah, building up your account, Terrence, is not really a skill. I'd say, and I'm going to get in trouble for this, right? Everybody gives me shit for this. But building an account is not for someone, like, how are you going to build an account if you're not consistently profitable, right? That's what I want to know. If you're not consistently profitable, how are you going to build an account? It's like saying, I'm going to build a house, but I can't hammer a nail in straight to save my life. How the hell are you going to build a house? Right? When you actually reason things out, you'll see that they just don't make any goddamn sense what these trading rooms and what these educators say. How, they're like, oh yeah, you can, take $1,000 and turn it into 1 million. Yeah, and then you woke up and you found out that you ate your pillow, right? What retail trader is exactly, Cisco. You got to pay yourself, get used to making money, get used to getting paid because retail traders are used to doing one thing, losing money and blowing up accounts. They're not used to building accounts and all that stuff. They have no idea how the business works. And that's okay. When you start anything, you're not going to know what you're doing. So just take your time, right? Learn how to make a couple of $100 a day. Learn how to trade and not lose your shit when you start losing money. Have a plan. Follow that plan. Just common sense. Common sense, folks. That's all you got to do, right? Train yourself how to react when stuff goes bad because it's always going to go bad. I've been doing this 34 years. There are relative periods of calm, and then most of the time it's organized chaos, right? You know, building an account is the biggest, that's how they get all your money because they say you should be doubling your account every month or 2 months. Don't leave your money in your brokerage account when you're not consistently profitable. As soon as you make some money, get it the hell out of your account before your ego gets its hands on it. Seriously, right? Because you're going to go, oh, it's, and the other thing is, oh, it's house money. There's no such thing as house money. This isn't Vegas, it's a job. So there is no such thing as house money, right? You either earn money or you don't, right? Don't be a schmuck, okay? Don't be an idiot. Don't listen to all these people who tell you that you should be maximizing your edge. You've been trading, you've never made more than, a couple of $100, or you've made money and you've lost it at the end of the day. You have no business maximizing your edge because you don't know what your edge is. And that's okay. We all have to learn. We all start somewhere. Now let's see if we can take out these 66.26 sellers, right? Let's see. You know, just be patient. This too shall pass. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, that seller's still there, right? Just practice discipline. I know it sucks. It's boring. Nobody wants to be disciplined. Everybody wants the Ferrari. Everybody wants, the supermodel girlfriend. I get it. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt, right? All we got to do is just make some money every day. And every week, you should be taking money out of your brokerage account, okay? Every week, withdraw, right? If you make $1,000 this week, get it into your bank account. Make it real. Use it to pay some bills, right? See how it's going back and forth here? Also, this is a great market to learn when not to trade. This crap right here, right? That means just leave it alone. There's an edge here. VWAP is here, and you got stacked sellers here, here, and here. So if you short, you're looking for bids at 23. If it stays over 25, there's no reason to short it. So it's stuck. It's stuck because business is slow. Everybody get that? Right? It's not what you want to hear because I know everybody wants to make money. So do I. But you don't want to throw away your money for no reason. And that's what happens when you trade at the wrong time. Right? People trade at the wrong time because they don't understand the business. If you understood the business a little bit, you'd kind of sit and wait. And you do what the smart money people do. And that's the thing, right? Patience, right, Cisco? And what is the thing that people hate being told? People hate being told to be patient. Right? People hate being told to be patient. They can't stand it. So that's why I say just be smart, right? If you're smart, patience will come naturally, right? Right? If you're smart, patience will come naturally. You're just waiting. You want to be like that thief in the night, waiting for your opportunity. Right now, I don't see any opportunity yet. Exactly, right? We got to love the impatient traders, right? They're the reason why we make money. Don't fall for the first thing you see, right? Like right here, what's the point? If I went long at 25, I know there's sellers at 26 and 27. I could maybe squeak out a point, right? I know the order flow is really slow because nobody wants to trade, right? When this guy's warning that he's going to obliterate an entire country off the map, right? That's so people are a little, people are a little cautious, right? You got to remember too that the big money managers, they own Microsoft at $30 a share, right? They've got, 300 million shares of it. People have 800 million shares of Apple or whatever it is. They have it at $20, $30. So, and they're holding it for 30 years. So they really could care less, right? All they do is sit around and wait. The rest of us, right, we're traders, right? Which means, I would not want to be an analyst right now. Dear gosh, they must not have slept now in 2 months. And the exact same thing, I was watching, let's see what happens when London opens. For some reason, I clicked on Bloomberg TV yesterday, and Shanna Sissel was on there, who is a friend of this room. Great lady. Real tough as nails. Smart as hell. She runs Banrian Capital, and she was saying this situation is very, very similar to what happened last year when people were worried about tariffs, right? And we did that big plunge. It's pretty much the same, and I've been saying the same thing, waiting for that big April, May correction down. Let's see what happens. Here we go. Plowed through those 28 sellers. Look at that, eh? 66.29 to the tick, right? Told you that there'd be a seller there. Why are they there? Why does this work so well? Well, because if you're a size seller and you sold at 29 before, why wouldn't you sell there again? Why wouldn't you front run VWAP? So now let's see if it holds 25 on the downside, okay? And if it's just chopping around, go do something else. Wait a little while. I would advise you, and I'm going to get into trouble for this again, but I don't care, right? I've been doing this for 34 years. I really don't care. All I care about is that you guys don't blow up your accounts and lose all your money, right? There's going to be a lot of time to make money, but just, be smart about it. Take your trades right from the edge, right? Today, just be careful today because you could have a bit of news that comes out. Yesterday, somebody said that, they had an order and they had an order in the system and a big candle came, went right to their order, over it, and they didn't get filled. So there is no guarantee that you are going to get filled. So trade small, size down, right? Keep your size down, right? We just did a look below and fail of 25 up to 27. If we can clear VWAP and stay above it, what we're going to do is we're going to take this cheap stuff here, and we're going to take it and we're going to sell it up here. Now we know that there are sellers here and we know that there are sellers here. So manage your expectations accordingly. Right? It is a special time. There is a war going on. We have to be aware of that. We have to just make what we can, not be too stubborn. Right? The other thing, yesterday, if you watched the video, I took a couple of trades. I was wrong, and I was out immediately. Don't be stubborn and wrong. Stubborn and wrong means really, really expensive, right? It's okay to be wrong. Just don't be stubborn, okay? Right? If anybody tells you that you should be pushing your edge during a time of uncertainty, during a time of war, that means that they're a degenerate gambler and have some sort of issue that they should go and maybe go to rehab. right? Don't fall for that. Be smart with your money, my friends. Right? I don't see decent trades here. You might have been able to clip in and out of one of these quick if you were fast enough, but as they say in Canada, this is a real dog's breakfast when it comes to the order flow. It's just brutal. Yeah, so just be aware of that. Be smart. Don't do anything crazy. I'm not seeing anything worth trading here. I'll give it another couple of minutes. We'll keep the sessions short. I'm still getting over this cold. It's a real pain. Thankfully, the old rapid heartbeat hasn't happened now all afternoon yesterday and today, so that's good. Which means the virus is running its course. We're still distributing, right? Because the overnight point of control, the inventory is here. We've been selling it up here. So worst case scenario, we come back down to 21, right? Just in that area here. That's really what market profile is good for. It tells you where the inventory is very quickly, right? So we know the inventory is priced right now at 21. We were selling it at 30, 29, 28. Now we're putting it on sale. Worst case scenario, if we have to mark it down now, if you were long 21, 22, if you were wholesale long, you'd have been out of your position by 30. Right? You would have taken the profits. You've got to do that, right? Because if smart money is taking profits, why wouldn't you, right? Right? If wholesalers are taking profits, you should be taking profits too. Right? In this market, with this news cycle the way it is, my friends, do not wait for an invitation to take profit, okay? Make sure you pay yourself. Please, please, please pay yourself. You know, I know everybody wants to pay their mortgage off in one trade, but it's probably not going to happen. So make sure you pay yourself. And if you're unsure of what's going on, sit and watch, right? Right? And if you are sure of yourself, well, you can always size down, right? You can always size down. It's not going to kill you to size down. Right? This price action, is pretty horrible, right? And if it if it was normal, that'd be weird, right? There's a war and everything's normal, right? Given that there's a deadline tonight. So just be careful. Watch your backs. Don't fall for any, don't fall for a big red candle. Don't fall for a big green candle and chase it. Watch your risk, watch your back. And we will see you at 9 o'clock for the next session. Coaching students, I'm still not 100%, but if you have any issues and you need a phone call, let me know. I'll hop on the phone. We're not going to do an hour or anything like that. We'll maybe do like 5, 10, 20 minutes just to get you situated if you're upside down. But I am around. Thank you, everyone. And for those of you who are thinking about learning how to trade, please come into our trading room. We've got this trading university going on. It's free to sign up. Please check it out. We will teach you how to trade. The room's got a 3-day you can come into the room for 3 days for free, try it out. And I promise you'll learn more in a month with us than you will 10 years anywhere else of information that you can actually use to make money. Hey, look at that. Overnight point of control all the way up to 25. So what they bought at 21.20, they're selling up here at 25. Distribution, right? Not really for us. So for us, for retail traders, crappy. For wholesale traders, they're making money, right? They're cashing up because God knows what's going to happen tonight. Hopefully everything goes well. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you at 9 o'clock. Appreciate you all. Today, RTH? Yep. We'll see you at 9. I'll be there. Thanks, everyone. Very grateful to you all. We'll see you at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Bye for now.